Hear me out. Hear me out. Y'all like sailing, right? Stay with me. We need to update our title real quick. Hang on. I'm just gonna swap over category. Done. There we go. As soon as I can figure out a brand name for it, all goes online. Yes. Oh, I'm so looking forward to that. Oh, I'm so looking forward to that. Okay, so this is gonna be a little weird, but not in a bad way. I think it's gonna be weird in a good way. Let me check one thing real quick. Okay, wonderful. So, let's do a legacy campaign. When this captain dies, it dies. This game can be a little cruel, but rewarding? A bit like Dark Souls, which to answer your question, Corrington, I would likely not play Dark Souls. Maybe Elden Ring at some point, but that's very unlikely too. It's more likely I'll play Bloodborne again at some point. I could ask an opinion of the name I was thinking of. Oh, if that's acceptable, Jolly, I'm happy to give an opinion. Log of Her Majesty's Locomotive, the Orphean. March 14th. I did not realize it's actually that close. Whoops. Our expedition to the domains of the dead have been eventful. I read too slow. May God be with us. Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. She read too slow. Okay, who is this game for? This game is for people who like sea tales, but also sci-fi, but also trains, but also narrative games, and also difficult choices. Sound good? Sound good. Other side jewelry. Ooh, I actually really like that. I really like that, actually. I played this on the controller. I've never played on the keyboard. March 16th, 1905. You've returned to the Reach, an untamed, sunless span of the heavens. London's new frontier. Celestial Garden, run wild. Well done, Will. Let's try again. March 17th. Your journey back from the Blue Kingdom was tumultuous. Your locomotive is damaged, and Captain Whitlock badly wounded. What is this fancy name of this? My friend is Sunless Skies. March 17th. As first officer, the crew look to you. The nearest station is New Winchester. Can you get the Orphean there sometime? Much to the relief of your stokers, you find a barrel of fuel on the Detritus. A wreck drifts here, less fortunate even than you. We should scavenge her for repairs, a crewman suggests. Ozymandias. The wreck hangs in the sky, pocked with recent gunfire. You and the boarding party don your sky suits, garments of waxed canvas lined with felt to protect against the cold of the sky. Two of the crew are whispering as they dress. What business did Captain Whitlock have in the Blue Kingdom anyway? Why the devil did we trespass in the districts of the dead? You silence him. Now's not the time. We leap across to the wreck. The gap between the two engines isn't wide, but the endless fathoms of heaven gape beneath. He straight away thought it was he. Because he's an Aussie man. You jump. Your stomach lurches with vertigo as the stars blaze above you and below. The air of the heavens is thin and torn by unpredictable winds, and your boots hit the running board of the Ozymandias, and your leather-gloved hands fumble for a hold. One of your companions throws you a line, and you lash the two engines together. Only then do the rest of the boarding party follow you. One of them forces open an exterior hatch, and you clamber inside. Her interior is cold, unlit, and whistles with the wind. Your party's lamps spread buttery light over the narrow panel passages. You make your way toward the hold, stepping over bodies crumbling. Unfortunately, your way is blocked. The bulkhead has been mangled inward by the well-aimed barrage. So we have options here. We can clear the obstruction away, or go on a more precarious path. Let's be risky. So we go back out onto the Ozymandias' hull, climb past the blockage, and enter through a window on the far side, and we do so carefully. The rest of the boarding party follow us without enthusiasm. You recall the first time you climbed outside and helping the captain fix a leak in an exterior pipe. The wind had shrieked, buffeting. You asked the captain what would happen if he slipped. You fall, she answered tersely. But where to? You asked. She looked down, then up, then back. The sky's depths spiraled all about you. Anyway, she said, and you heard her fear. Back in the present, you tumble back into the Ozymandias through a shattered window. Your party's spilling after you, glad to be back inside. Thank you for the alert, Corrington. Have fun in Hades. And thank you for the birthday wish. You've reached the Ozymandias' hold, a ruin of smashed cargo and spilled supplies. Hopefully, somewhere amidst the detritus, you can find parts to repair the Orphean and restock your stores. Let's conduct a thorough search. Your companions work quickly. The Ozymandias' hull has begun to creak. Your actions on board may have compromised its integrity. You find enough food and gear to restock your supplies, and enough spare parts to make necessary repairs to the Orphean. The food will need to be thoroughly thawed, of course. You've eaten worse in the skies. Aha! Cries one of your party, prying the lid off a crate. It holds a cannon, still nestled in straw. Another crewman pulls a battered bird cage from a pile of ruined cargo. Within the cage, something winged and bird opens a sullen eye. You examine your finds. Didn't expect it to say furred, because this is a bat, if memory serves. It is a bat. Glad you asked, because it's another side of my art. Oh, I love that. Also because my focus is on the alternative and other side of jewelry rather than the mainstream. The only thing I recommend, Jolly, is to search that in quotations fucking everywhere and just make sure it's not taken first, but I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. Speaking of Hades, it happened. The triplicate happened. Corrington. The good scene. You have my jealousy. The Ozymandias emits a long, juddering creak. Your boarding party exchange nervous glances. From the chaos of its hold, you have retrieved repairs and supplies and discovered some useful equipment. A gun that could be mounted on your locomotive and an educated bat. We can mount the Jerusalem to the Orphean, especially considering our own weapons were damaged during our flight to the Blue Kingdom. We can also liberate a diffident bat and employ it as a scout. The heavens are wide, so locomotives use scouts, like bats, to locate things of interest. Ports, resources, wrecks, like this one, to scavenge. Oh, that one's gonna hurt me. The Cotterel and Aether Sage? Aethersage. Jerusalem. Fires single shells to a good range, more or less accurately. You order 2 of your party to get it back to your vessel and fit it immediately. The Ozymandias groans again. The structure shudders spasmodically. The bat treats its rescue as an inconvenience and immediately begins haggling over pay. You offer to put it back in its damp cage and leave it on the Ozymandias, at which point it becomes more polite. You doubt it will last. Alright, it's too dangerous to stay. Or we can press onto the engine room. I think let's risk it. Maybe get a little more fuel. Maybe. The wreck of the Ozymandias screeches as its metal buckles and tears. You press on through the shuddering corridors, searching frantically for the engine room. So we can either send a smaller party ahead to retrieve fuel, or I can go myself. Do we want to be more convincing or more deductive? Well, I know us. Let's be more convincing. Lucky, lucky. You select 2 sprightly members of your party and they dart on into the Ozymandias. The rest of you return to the Orphean to wait. You chose wisely. The 2 explorers return shortly thereafter carrying several stacks of glistening black coal. They are lauded as heroes by your crew as you stoke your engines and steam away, restocked, refueled, repaired, and rearmed. Here we go. This guy has discovered something. How does one open your chart? It's perhaps? And I'm assuming this is going to be New Winchester. Lovely. Oh. I believe the captain wants that. The walls of the captain's cabin are lined with a hodgepodge of curios from across the sky. Captain Whitlock is in bed. Black marks cover her skin like a monstrous brand. When she coughs, coils of acrid smoke pour from her lungs. Let's ask about those injuries, considering the doctors are. A word of living fire pursued the Orphean across the Blue Kingdom. It caught you just before you passed through the transit relay to the Reach and set its brand upon the captain. It's burned itself right through her, the doctor whispers. When I close the worst of her wounds, you can see the sign is seared into her bones and her organs. Judging from her symptoms, it's on the inside of her lungs, too. The captain leans to one side and vomits a plume of fire into a copper bowl. There is nothing the doctor can do. The walls of the captain's cabin are lined. We are back in the cabin, so I guess we approach the bedside. Her mouth is blistered from the blue fires that dance on her tongue. Her hand grips your arm. Her skin is hot as a kettle. Arrangements. The Orphean will be yours. Her voice is just a rasp of burned meat breath. Promise. She breaks off to scream a word in a language that was not made for human mouths. When she resumes speaking English, she is weaker, her request little more than a gasp. Promise me one last service. Promise. Demand to know why she took it to the Blue Kingdom is not... No. She's captain of a vessel. I'm here for a reason. Pull away. I don't think she's contagious. Make no promise to all the rest. She's dying. That's unkind. So I guess we will just promise her. What's the worst that can happen if we lie? She sinks back, relieved. She gasps. Be a better. She breaks off as the sigils burn into her bones, flare, glowing cherry red through her flesh and skin. Better captain than I. The effort exhausts her. She sinks back into the scorched pillows, twisting frantic fever. Well, I have an engine to command. You leave the cabin and the scorched stink of its air behind, and return to the bridge. New Winchester's further than you'd like. The captain hasn't long. Touch tragic. Ooh, and it attracted some attention that I also didn't want to. I made some shots now. This thing is literally not even facing you. Infinite. That'd be really unfortunate. Reminds me of one of the original GTA games. Is that serious? I didn't play them, so I don't know. The Reach Marauder is defeated. You prepare to board the buckled wreckage, poised to plunder the plunderers. Behind you, someone is humming a song of victory. Let's see. Strip it for repairs is not an option, so I guess we raid the remains. Marauders pillage homesteads and hunt travelers all across the Reach. They often carry stolen valuables. Oh, the top down. Oh. Fair enough. Still got gains. Your boarding party returns with wallets and watches, cufflinks, lockets, and keepsakes. You store them in the safe to be pawned when, if, you make it back to port. We got some sovereigns for you. I'll take that one. I think that's this way for a port. I don't know if the game always starts on March 14th, or if we just really lucked out and it takes the current date into account. That was very wild to like can't see the cutoff. Welcome to New Winchester. You coast into the bustle, the din, the soot, and the steam of Wolsey. I know my Brits and chat are gonna hate my pronunciations of these. I'm so sorry. We're just gonna have to deal with it. Station. It is clogged with other engines, scrappy mining locomotives from Lustrum Way, weathered explorers gleaming with frost, sleek company vessels with bright brass fittings. No sooner have you pulled into the sidings than a brusque station master bustles over. He requests to come aboard. I must speak with your captain, he insists, brandishing a ledger. The usual formalities. The doctor has just appeared at your shoulder. His face is solemn, his head is in his hands. He lowers his eyes. The crew exchange bleak, wordless looks. The Orphean itself feels suddenly more empty. The station master looks confused. You inform him that, unfortunately, Captain Whitlock has just passed. Ah, he says neutrally. Sorry to hear that. Very sad, very sad. He waits for what he considers an appropriate minute and a half before continuing. Alas, even amidst tragedy of the cogs of bureaucracy must turn. If Captain Whitlock is deceased, the station authority required their answers from the first officer. He dons a set of spectacles, locates his pen. It will be relatively painless. Name, background, purpose of visit, etc. Shall we begin? Okay. We're finally gonna make a captain. Let's see. I know what I normally make. I don't know if I'm gonna do it again. If you see something that speaks to you, we can talk about it. We can think about it. Right now, we must create your captain. Today, London lies between the stars. Her new empire unfolds across the heavens. But 10 years ago, before the northern gate was opened, before the renewed empress led her people into the skies, it lay in a vast cavern far beneath the earth. Deep, dark, marvelous. Who were you then? I think this is like a legacy class from the game that came before this, Sunless Sea. I don't think I'm gonna do this. I don't think I'm gonna do a priest. I don't think I'm gonna be an auditor. And a lot of these will sort of dictate our starting skills. I love veils and I love hearts. I love mirrors. Be the auditor, do it. Let's see. I kind of like lying though. Lying is the most fun I can have in video games. I think we might go for it. The world is broken. One way for the rich, another for the poor. You decided to do something about it. And we'll start with high veils, which I enjoy having. You were a revolutionary. The law offered you no protection. The engines of the state were set against that which you knew to be just. So, how did you resist? I mean, duh? Dadoy, right? Yes? With your art? Art travels swiftly. It cannot be imprisoned. It cannot be hanged. This would increase our hearts. Although I do love the line, lies are the tool of tyrants. That's so sick. You marched and when marching wasn't enough. Create your captain. Choose an ambition. What does winning mean to you? Wealth, fame, or truth? Well, we know it's not about the gold. Am I right? No. I kind of like the Song of the Sky. You will immortalize your exploits in the Song of the Sky. For centuries, people have launched themselves into the unknown in the hope of making a name for themselves. You're sure you'll succeed. After all, I've never heard of anyone who didn't. For this ending, we need to gather stories of our exploits and write about them in New Winchester. Ooh. Well, let's see here. What a hat. Let's start without a hat so we can figure out hair, and then we'll come back. I really love the huge, like, captain's jacket. That's sick. Term of address. Love archivist. Comrade is very fun. Let's go Archivist. I like it. Archivist Mel. Maybe. Or just to make sure. Yep. I'm happy with this. Damn, that's good veils. Okay. See, that was worth it. That was so worth it. Three weeks have passed. This morning, Captain Whitlock received a simple memorial service. Her body was consigned to a necropolis train bound for the Serene Mausoleum. Now you sit with a handful of her relatives, threadbare offices, solicitors. A methodical notary is reading the will. The captain was wealthy, once, but squandered her capital on mysterious expenses before her expedition to the Blue Kingdom. We'll listen to the end. The captain's relatives, from whom she was mostly estranged, are clearly wondering why you're here. In a final condicil, that's a new word. That too. Or actually, hold on. We have the internet. We can learn right now. Condicil. Definition. Condicil. An addition or supplement that explains, modifies, or revokes a will or part of one. Ah, that's why I've never heard it before, because I have not looked into words pertaining to laws. Or, laws or wills. What is the etymology? It is a Latin root. Thank you so much for asking. It is late Middle English from Latin condicillus, which is a diminutive of codex. We've learned a thing. Isn't that exciting? Anyway, in that final addendum, Captain Whitlock confirmed that possession of the Orphean was to pass to its first officer. He peers at you with dry gray eyes. This includes a certain black box contained in the Orphean's hold. Captain Whitlock's final request was that, at a time of your choosing, you transport said box to an address in London. He hands you an address card and deposit it there. You are not to look inside. He gave you no explanation. And that's it. You're captain now. The Orphean is yours. So, we got Captain Whitlock's legacy. We can investigate the Black Winchester. We could take it to London as promised. Or we could sell it and be done. We have been bequeathed a large black box, which once belonged to Captain Whitlock, and we got 100 sovereigns. Damn, she was poor. Jesus. New stream idea, words with Mel. I'm just gonna have to collect so many of them, though. Yeah, Rhino, etymology, it's the study of insects. Okay. A lot going on in New Winchester. I know it wants me to stock up, and we will. We'll deal with that in a moment. There's so much to do. There's so much to see. We even have a rhino available for hire. I do like taking on the fastidious inspector. She is a delightful presence on the ship. I'm going to grab her real quick. Excuse me, Captain. A woman pushes through the crowds towards you. She is short and square-shouldered, neat black suit and polished shoes. She shows you the case of her pocket watch. It is embossed with the crown and hourglass of London's Horological Service. Office, not service. Office. The body responsible for ensuring time is consistent across the Empire. I'm hoping to book passage to Port Prosper, she says, slipping the watch away. I can, of course, pay. Pay sounds promising. Thank you. The locomotive I was on broke down following a boiler rupture. The chief engineer's fault, I suspect. A gentleman fonder of brandy than of diligence. Here, an initial sum to seal our bargain. Prospero lies to the east of New Westminster. I'm just going to write that down for no particular reason. And for no reason at all. Note that there is such a thing as north, south, east, or indeed west out here. Oh, not note. Not that there is such a thing. We're in the sky. That makes sense. Instead, London cartographers picked 4 of the brighter, more reliable stars visible from the Empress's new palace and named them north, east, south, and west. Londoners value familiarity. Okay, we have a passenger. And another mouth to feed. I don't think we need repairs. Our locomotive is fine. We can check the shops real quick in a moment. But I feel like we should get the incautious driver. I specialize in test driving, but I'm looking for something quieter. The driver indicates a crashed engine still smoking. Like that, without the screaming. What harm could it do to allow the driver to join our crew? Is he brave or fearless? The driver boards, eager to get started. I recently parted ways with the Windward Company, they explain. Personally, I think a crash a week isn't so bad. They disagreed. Oh well, live and learn. Delightful. I don't think you can see him behind me, but he is there. I'll shift me for a moment so you can see. Wabam. He is right there. I feel like we should at least take a look at the black box. Captain Whitlock left it to you in the hold of the Orphean. Will described it only as a black box, a description you consider to be an unhelpful understatement. It is a casket of black basalt, longer than you are tall, unadorned, with a single small recess that contains a keyhole. The thing must weigh most of a ton. It stands upright in a corner of the hold where the crew have pushed it out of the way. Oh, goodness me. So we can sell it. That seems fucked up. Ooh, we need a lot of things to try and do something else with this. We could blow it up later on. We could pick the lock later on. Find someone who could open it from among your villainous associates. I guess if we find a lisping cracksman, maybe he can help us. Maybe an academic. But for now, we can consider it, try to remember, examine it, or just sell it. I don't want to sell the box. I really don't. When did she acquire the box, though? Captain Whitlock had it brought on board just before your ill-fated expedition to the Blue Kingdom. It was empty then. You know because you saw the lid and the box carried on board separately and assembled in the hold. It's not empty now. It is sealed and even heavier than before. But you left for the Blue Kingdom shortly after the box was delivered and made no stops on the way. So whatever is inside the box now, Captain Whitlock found in the Blue Kingdom. Let's take a look at it. It has the dimensions of a sarcophagus plundered from the tomb of some forgotten prince of Egypt. There are no carvings or inscriptions on it. The join where the lid meets the body is too thin to admit even a knife blade. There are no holes by which light or air might find their way in. It is impossible to see inside without opening it. Even the keyhole has been engineered in such a way as to prevent peeking. The recess with the keyhole, though, as far as you can determine, that is a more recent addition to the box. The stone has been drilled and chiseled away to create space for a modern metal lock. Okay. Let's leave the box alone for a moment. We should definitely stock up, I think. Oh, and we should get some prospect. Magdalene's provides comfort and sympathy to the weary skyfarer. Its hosts will tell you any lie you need to hear. Some of those lies require flowers. The amenable host wants up to 3 sacks of verdant seeds and will pay 80 sovereigns for each. Magdalene's, writing this down, lies to the northeast of New Winchester. Magdalene's is going to be pretty clutch. One thing about the skies is it is stressful in a very material way. Magdalene's is one of the routine places we'll have access to deal with that stress. Through lives, sure, but building connections is a good idea, and more importantly, knowing where it is a very good idea. So this is a good first stop to make. Making money from that stop, better idea. They also want up to 3 gourds of chorister nectar. I take both. And verdant seeds can reliably be purchased at Hybris for the Leadbeater and Sandrod Nature Preserve. I don't know where any of these places are. We'll be sure to find them, probably. Here's one. Or lead and stain. Nectar through, well, titania makes sense. Nice midsummer nectar. Okay. We have our prospects. How are we on supplies? We have 4 of each. I think we should get maybe 1 more of each. 5 and 5, see how far that gets us. We don't have infinite funds, so let's be a little smart with this. We're okay for crew. I believe this is always available at like major port towns. We don't need repairs. We've investigated the box. We can walk about the city, see if there's anything to be done. Well, let's check in on our ambition. The song of the sky looms in your mind. Finished monument. To begin. You take advantage of a quiet moment to pull out your journal. The blank page sits before you, smug and the horror. At last, inspiration strikes. You need fresh material, that's the ticket. Okay, we want sky stories and tales of terror to begin building the Song of the Sky. Easy peasy. I think that's all we're gonna get from New Winchester, so let's start. We know a lot of what we eventually want is going to be to the east and northeast. So, I am dead, I have died. So. Just a moment, and apologies for later. And we're back. Amazing. This game feels aggressively complicated. It feels that way because it's a lot of menuing. That's primarily because it's a lot of writing. It's really just the same thesis as Firefly. Find an engine, get a crew, keep on flying. There's a lot to be done, but most of it is just participate in storms. Welcome to Victory Hall. The Assembly, a coalition of settlers, colloquially called Tacites, gather and argue here. Deliver port reports here to receive rewards and win the Tacites' favor. As I recall correctly, very nice to know. Raised in the wake of the blockade of New Winchester, this magnificence of glass and steel houses the Colonial Assembly. I don't have any ports. I do want to get closer to her. So there's kind of like a revolution going on between the Tacites and some other faction that I think is over here. And I think the reports we deliver help sway favor one way or the other. The Company House. The local headquarters of the Windward Company, London's proxy in the Reach. Deliver port reports here to receive rewards and win the company's favor. Following the uprising, the fortunes of the Windward Company fell in New Winchester. And we have nothing for either of them. So as we sail, about, we'll be able to bring news back to either one of them. The taste of smog, the sound of iron on iron. There's a ship there, but I think it's best to avoid it for now. I really want to see how far it's going to reach us. Lights in the distance. The stoker begins to sing a ballad about the chimneys in New Winchester. And the bat found nothing. Well, that's a waste of supply. That's okay. I think I sent it out a bit too close to port. I found somewhere familiar and said, nothing here. Spores float by, carried on an aimless breeze. The Hybrian wilds are gravel with fungus. I think we're trying to go there, right? Hybris, yeah. We're trying to go there for seeds. Drifting a bit too far east of going this way. Yeah, we're already heading to the other region. Mountainous rocks, clad in jackets of frost, rise about you. The passes are perilous. So I want to stay back this way to try and find Hybris. I think that's the call. Oh. Stopped clock. The fastidious inspector approaches you in the galley. Captain, good day. I noticed your ship's clock has stopped. Perhaps you'd permit me to repair it? He has a little case of tools and a hopeful expression. And absolutely. You prefer things to be right more than twice a day. She gives a grateful flicker of a smile and sets to work. Soon she has the back of the clock off and spread tiny cogs across the galley table. Obscure horological tools gleam brassily amongst them. Everything has a place. I appreciate the opportunity to keep myself busy. Staring too long at the stars is harmful to the temperament. The fastidious inspector has a round face, brown eyes, and short, dark hair. She gives the impression of being perpetually busy. Let's ask about her work. What are the duties of an agent at the horological office? She sniffs. It is of fundamental importance that 10 o'clock on the 2nd of June in one corner of the Empire occurs at the same time as 10 o'clock on the 2nd of June in the opposite corner. How is an empire to function if it can't agree what day it is? Unfortunately, the process is complicated by the fact that time is less reliable than it was. The hours trade has seen to that. Ask for news of London. The seat of the Empire lies in far-off Albion, where a man-made sun burns in the sky. Another sun blazed there once, before her renewed majesty conquered. Sounds about right. London sits in her coat of smog. Courtiers? Squabble at the foot of the throne of hours, hoping to receive endowments of years. Meanwhile, hard-working civil servants labor to ensure everything runs as it should. Is there a touch of archness there? All is normal. I miss her, though. There's no city like London in all the skies. And Albion is very different from the region. Much more civilized. Well, I can guess her thoughts on the Reach. The wide, wild frontier. A sunless domain, but impossibly verdant. Gargantuan vines, cathedral-sized woods, and livid fungal archipelagos. It has an uncouth splendor, but I miss Albion and the steady light of the clockwork sun. These sunless reaches are so misty and quiet. She pauses, but critical. The territories here are rich with raw hours, and enough vegetation grows on them to feed the whole of London, even if some of it is a dubious shape. You've heard the Empress awards her favorites with gifts of years to extend their lives, and that you can become rich mining for hours to satisfy London's hunger. Oh, hours have more uses than that. We use them to increase the efficiency of our workloads, speed journeys to distant regions, to resolve overcrowding in prisons. It does make my life more difficult when time knots and stretches like wool on the loom. More difficult or more vital. Her Majesty seized a great trove of them when she assumed the throne of ours, and now even more have been found in the Reach. Miners dig them from the ground. She looks momentarily wistful. I hope someday to retire with a modest pension of years myself, to prolong the better part of my retirement. I don't think it's fruitful or polite on day one to ask her about a war going on while she's a passenger. But I can compliment her skills. Her hands are deft and sure. She polishes, she cleans, she reassembles. Thank you, she says, a small, embarrassed silence. It's possible the inspector is pleased. It's rather hard to tell. I am curious about the war, but I'm just gonna bid her good evening. You've work to do. And to you, Captain. I think I shall make a cup of tea. What did you find? What are you? do like that you can see the war actively happening. But I think this, yep, it's a marauder. Just being a bit of a dick. I hear you. My engine's mad at me. I save at least a bit to still be able to evade without burning out. Alright. To the victor, the spoils. The crew of the Marauder lie dead in the corridor, killed not by your guns, but knives and small arms fire. The only survivor is the captain, locked in the brig with a bottle of brandy. Pinky, welcome in. Chalk eyes stare back from every wall. When he ran out of chalk, he began scraping them in with his fingernails. Little remains of them, but bloodied stumps. Seen this before, Captain. There's a crew member grasping at your arm. Sky madness. Magdalene's can treat it if you can be bothered to take the poor sod. I mean, we have to go to Mags anyway, I guess. So we can either put him out or bring him with. Let's bring him with. We're going to Mags anyway. We'll be merciful. The crew wrap the sky-maddened captain in blankets, then secure them tightly with belts. It takes 4 to transport him safely to your locomotive. You might not be happily restrained, but it should keep him from harm until you get him to Magdalen's. Magdalen's lies to the northeast of New Winchester. We knew this already. The captain secured, you have a moment to see whether there's anything of worth on its locomotive before abandoning it to the wilderness. And we got a tale of terror. Good, we need these. We need a few of these. You prepare to board the wreckage, poised to plunder the plunderers. Let's see, what could it be? Something precious has been concealed. A sheaf of letters falls from a concealed compartment. Pages are ripe with scandal. Ooh, we have salon-stewed gossip. Ah, I love that for us. Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. You have no reason to shoot me. Thank you. Good talk. I'm not going that way, am I? Nope. I most certainly am not. Oh no, it's a thing I can't do anything about. Oh, I hate that for me. Yeah, I don't have the mining skill. Darn. Well, that sucks. The nice thing is that our supplies and our fuel has been pulling up pretty well, because I know it is. Okay. Old piping, grizzled with moss, juts from the undergrowth. This was London's first attempt to build New Winchester. It failed. Oh, I'm not taking on 2 marauders at once. You're out of your mind. No, no. Bye. I hear you, I know. Hey. Another marauder defeated. Amazing. Let's see. We can gain sovereigns or see what we can find. Let's see if we get lucky. The marauders are rarely democratic. The captain rules by strength and claims the best for their own keep. The cabin door did not survive the onset of your guns, nor did the captain. You have to tread carefully. The carpet will not be saved. Few scorched documents sit on the bronzewood desk. They make for interesting reading. Apparently, London had need of a few brave captains willing to bring fire back to the Tacites. You would not have expected the signatories of the orders. More gossip. And we still remember. Bye. The scream of train whistles in the distance. Marauders embarking on a raid. We do have a level up available too. What did the winds of fate hold in store? Definitely want... Oh, I don't know. Actually, should we... We have some pretty intense veils. We have some good heart. We don't have a lot of mirrors, and we don't have a lot of iron. I feel like it would be smart to beef those a little bit. Teeny tiny bit. I feel like this would be good just to kind of diversify our skill set a bit. We were scarred. You came close that day to death. Left its mark. We want this more so than this. So, what was it that nearly killed you? It was an attempt on your life. There is a bullet scar beside your heart. You have learned since to be more judicious in your choice of friends. Alright. We have a new facet. Look at some new skins. Scout has found something, that's nice. Let's keep missing, actually. I really love that. There we go. Alright, yet another. I kind of want to do this because our hull is damaged, so let's strip the engine for materials. That is so funny. That is funny timing. I think I likened this to Firefly, 15 minutes ago? And Bucka just messaged me that apparently Nathan Fillion says Firefly animated series is in development. News from the Deadline.com. Ooh, I will flip out. I will flip out if that is true. And if that comes to be. Original crew, it sounds like to voice act. If we could be so lucky. Your crew go to work eagerly, vaulting out into the bright, tools at the ready. The stripping of the Marauder is slow and painful work. They are cobbled together of stolen parts. Finding suitable fits for your own engine is a process of trial and error. Many of your crew will have lost friends, family, lovers to the Marauders. It speeds the work. Hey, that filled up our hull. Amazing. Love that for us. What did our scout find? Something. Amazing. A port would be nice. But I don't think that's what I found. More supplies, good. Oh. That kind of looks like a port. It's not. Feels near to one. Kenyon's hand. Battle of Culverstone. Another fucking water. Oh my god, no. Wrong neighborhood, and I'm so sorry. And I'm so sorry. So rude of me to intrude. I am so sorry. I don't want to be in the midst of that. Have a good day. Far away from me. Thanks so much. Oh my goodness. Our terrors at about a third. I think at this point, we might end up just looping back to New Winchester and then continuing on to Mags with absolutely no seeds, and that will make me kind of upset, but that's okay. That's kind of the risky run. I would love to find seeds. Now what, Hybris was it? The Von Sesame East. A lot of things with names, no ports though. But far away enough from things that maybe are stuck to find something. Hey, that's a port. Always wanted to go to a circus. Mother said no. Poor people disease. Driver looks forlorn. That's okay, buddy. I'll take you to the circus. Ah, there's the relay. I don't think this is where I want to be. I really wanted to see Hybris, but that's okay. I'll take the sanity pop. What is that, Gervais? Gervais's Rest? The traveling circus has settled here. Too afraid to go further and too afraid to turn back. Its clanking, gaudy locomotive scavenges such audiences as it can from nearby homesteads and delivers them evening shabby, desperate, big top magic. Okay. We can recruit a vagabond. We can check out the show. Let's check out the vagabond. What's he got for it? You find him waiting serenely at Gervais's Rest, clay pipe clamped between his teeth. He claims to be an expert in snake wrangling, thimble twisting, and stick swinging. He professes to be a psychologist, mythologist, and escapologist. He boasts he can tell stories that'll haunt until you die, and play tunes that'll make stones dance. If all that fails to entice you, he supposes he could turn his hand to signaling. I don't have the things that he wants. No. He needs sky stories. Maybe we'll remember that he's here. Or maybe we'll run into him again later, once we have some stories to tell. For now, let's check out the greatest show. The inconceivable circus. The greatest show. That's what the adverts promise. The reality is not impressive. Aside from the big top that dominates the circus, the place is shabby, poorly maintained, and even more poorly attended. Bored-looking circus folk run rotting booths. The clowns' painted-on smiles are no match for the deep-set misery behind the grease paint. Even the calliope music playing on a run-down piano is more grimly resolute than cheery. I don't know that I want to, spend money on that. That seems a little silly. That seems silly to do. Let's write a port report and then maybe try and sneak behind. The insane space posse. Has that kind of vibe to it, doesn't it? Although I think those shows are much more lively than this one. Good to see you, Ark. Alright. This doesn't seem a location of tactical importance. Even so, there may be interest in who attends. The big top looms dramatically in the fog of the Reach, but it's not nearly as imposing as the massive obelisk floating nearby. Some enterprising soul has hung bunting between it and the big top. As for the circus itself, outside of the performers, it is practically deserted. You may be the first new face in the audience in quite a while. We stick out, but let's see if we can't get behind the tents. Guests are not allowed back there, but that makes it more interesting. Fuck. My veils are so high, though. I was caught in the act. A pair of clowns whose painted-on smiles do not match their actual scowls spot you almost immediately. There's nothing funny about the heavy sticks they carry. Oof. You are less than politely escorted back to the big top. Perhaps if you were better known around here, they would be less concerned. Maybe we can try when they know us a bit better. Damn, I'm not familiar enough with this. What do you want from me, dude? The new big top shop. What do they have? Do we need bronzewood? No, we need nectar and seeds. But I will take some supplies. Thank you very much. Ooh. A bargain on immaculate souls. We are too poor for even one of these things. What do you want? What do you want? I don't know. Do we bother seeing this? How much does this cost, dude? 10 sovereigns? No, I'm gonna hold on to that. Thank you. We'll come back another time. Thanks so much. Have a good life. Thanks for the no fuel. I really appreciate that. Okay. So Mags should be like here, right? Prosper should be here-ish. Where the fuck is Hybris? I feel like they always want something that's difficult for them to get. So maybe down here? No, we saw the spores of Hybris up here-ish. So maybe it's the more northwest relay? If we're lucky. We'll try for it. And I think at our next port, we'll probably call it for now. We are back again later this afternoon, heading for sea things. And it would be smart to take a break between the two, eat some food, become human. We can at least look for Hybris. That would be the move. Be just a little necessary, I think. I grew up right next to a train track, walking distance from my house. And the sound of the locomotive. I know, it just puts me to sleep now. I can hear it through my window every night. This close to the mother of mountains, the sky grows cold. Your crew don coats and gloves. I feel like this is not the way. I feel like it's not near the mountains. I feel like how I said, oh, maybe it's down this way. I know the spores were here, so maybe we double back and go this way. Train ambiance is so peak. There are a few trains that I've seen in Japan. Not the bullet train, I feel like that's gonna be too quiet. But like, true to like tram trains. That when I visit, I do want to just do a sleeper train for one night. Oh, that same sense of comfort. Good train sounds. Bad train sounds. Terrible train sounds. Fancy vibes. That was what helped. Aim wasn't so fog. Water. 11 hate, you kind of have to leave your shots like in SOC. Love it because it's so cool. Hate it because I'm so bad. A lot of these are going to have similar readouts. Yeah, that is exactly the same as the last Marauder we got Gossip from. I'm just going to burn through them if they're repeat. Or at least if I recognize it as repeats. Ain't that something? Being cautious driver. Is that? No, it's slightly different than the one I crashed into. A homestead. Settlers who live so far beyond the edge of civilization relish the hardships of solitude. They will fiercely defend their small territories, but occasionally welcome company and trade. This homestead appears to be thriving. Family gathers outside to welcome you. Blue smoke coils from the chimney. Ooh, okay. Let's eat our fill. Hospitality is important on the frontier. The settlers invite you to join them for a meal. That's kind. You enjoy a meal of sticky porridge and viney vegetables. Afterwards, you and your host exchange non-committal observations on the war between stovepipes and Takati. Your crew are content for a time. One of them even speculates idly about settling down. Well, that's good. Michelin's Meadow. I feel like we're not gonna luck out and find high risk. We might find something else. And that would be nice. But I was really hoping to get those seeds for Magdalene's. I don't know how long that prospect is gonna last. It's a dead end. That is also a dead end. Fuck. Well, the scout found something. The question is, do we go this way? Or do we go this way? I guess let's go the mountain pass. We know that there is a mountain. We know that there is a pass. Yes? Unhelpful. Almost dead. Tucked away in the quiet sky. Further, I don't want another fight. No, thank you. I'm running low on supplies. Yeah, we're down to 2 fuel. Ugh. I really don't like having reserves that low. I'm so hot rod that I'm like, oh, that other ship is a Kelton sloop. It may as well be. The engines have glow like a ghost upon icy mists. I will say, if nothing else, I adore the writing in this game. I just want to shake the hand of someone who was on that team. I need my everyday life explained to me in sotisms. Same. The stunted girl. Well, at least we're getting some experience. How quiet it is. What's that smell? Eggs? Sulfur? Hey! Oh, I was hoping we would find this place. Especially with Ark in tow. Welcome to Carrying. You don't like toast? No, you like feet. This peaceful, Carmine institution was founded by devils from London and dedicated to the betterment of the soul. Botheridge's A Tour of Heaven describes it as a cross between a spa, a sanatorium, and purgatory. She commends its bracing airs. To the foyer, gray stone, the color of the monastery. Attending devils and devilesses dressed in uniform. The Brando, I hope you are doing fabulous. We are doing well today. In an incoming parade of the sick, the friendless, the dying, and those who think their lives would be better if only they were something else. This is Carry On, where souls are refined into something more impressive. Let's write a port report. I feel like we need to do this every time we hit a port. I feel like this is the move. The penitents come from all corners of the high wilderness. Someone will want to hear of their comings and goings. You take some notes on a pilgrim's journey through Carry On. The first port of call is the beehive-shaped office at the center, or, more accurately, the long queue leading into it. From there, the infernal attendants direct them to one of Carry On's 7 gardens to undergo penances. They certainly look penitent by the time they emerge. Presumably, their souls are much improved. Not that you can tell. The most we can do is talk to the presiding deviless. She's an artisan of souls. Perhaps she can do something with yours. Perhaps she'll just offer you advice. The presiding deviless works in an office shaped like a beehive, a stone and wicker work building that stands all alone in the middle of Carry On's central courtyard. She conducts intake interviews with new patients, one by one. After a long time in line, you reach her at last. Greetings, Archivist. How may we stretch, strain, purify, and strengthen you now that you've come to Carry On? Her apron is starched, her dress pinstriped. There's a stack of patient files on her desk, color-coded. The corners of her mouth say she knows something to your disadvantage. I guess let's ask her about Carry On. She must be used to explaining to newcomers and to those whose memories are attenuated by pain. 7 gardens for 7 sins. We do whatever is necessary to reclaim unsatisfactory souls, she says. She sits back in her chair, and you can imagine her making just such a pitch to the princes of hell. For humans, primarily, though we do attend to a few other creatures elsewhere on the Great Chain. They come to us with souls that are stained, disused, in every kind of sordid condition, and we make them acceptable again. Most of those who come to us are volunteers. The rest are beyond the position of being able to volunteer, consigned to Carry On by their families or employers. Interesting. And after a stay at Carry On, what then? One should not enter if one does not know how to leave. Most people go home again, she says. Some find that they are weary of their souls and pass them on to us. We operate on that slender profit and on what we can get from donations or from sales of penance and forgiveness. She looks at the blank page before her. But what about you? You look sturdy enough to make full use of our services. Are you afraid of needles? What is your view of worms? Which do you fear more, venoms or poisons? She takes down a page or two on all your least favorite things. I guess let's hear her out. We can get access to the terraces. She is prepared to offer a deal. Listen, she says. You are free to make use of Carry On. Take a penance or two. Alter your soul. I think you'll find our services very imaginative. There is another matter I hope you'll look into. A devil in rose-colored gloves. He used to supervise Gaslight Terrace. He was removed from that position, but I fear he may still not be entirely aligned with the objectives of Carry On. If you find out anything about him, anything to his disadvantage, he looks grim. Bring me the evidence, and I will reward you. Melatonin added again. It's Sunday morning. We take it easy on Sunday mornings. We will be in the whole hustle and bustle of Sea of Thieves in like 3 hours. So we're going to start easy. Enjoying our coffee, our tea, whatever have you. For the Australians, of course, going the fuck to sleep. It is quite late. But for me, it's a nice slow start to the day. Come back if you have any other questions, says the Devil S. She's already opened the next file on her desk. Okay, I think that's all we have for now. We got access to the terraces. I don't know how to get there yet. Nectar. Oh god, that's expensive. Oh god, that's expensive. I can't actually buy that. No! I need 3 of these. What can I sell? Nothing. Well. Shit. Damn it. They have crockery that I can't afford. Amazing. I love that for me. So good. Sit back, recline, put a blanket on. Bliss. Exactly. That's the hope. I do think this might be something of a like good standby chill out game. Kind of. Garden of Insatiable Roses. Checkerboard garden. I'm sure they have a few more. I did say our next port would be our stopping point. I do think we should keep to that because I don't believe we're going to find what I'm actually looking for here. That's unfortunate. We could start headed this way, see if we get lucky. The prospects are not required, they're just a good money-making situation. Medusa, good to see you. I hope you are having an amazing morning. Ours has been nice, chillaxed. We are, however, reaching a bit of a stopping point. I don't know. I think we might come back to this another time. Just as a nice chill time. Nice quiet reading time with, as Sabrina puts it, melatonin. Okay, we have notes for next time, if we end up doing. But for now, let's see who's online. Oh, how long have I been dead? I've been dead for a minute. Oh, that's embarrassing. Goodbye. Is that... I have things to work on in there. Oh no, when I reloaded earlier, I completely forgot to put my hat back on. Oh well, we'll try and remember that during. Much better. Okay, let's take a look here. Who is online? Who is... Like what you saw? All of it was recorded live over on Twitch, so come join us in chat and be part of the fun. We'll see you in the next one.